Hello, I'm Chris Tanis. I'm a KMP developer, and I got an itchy ear. Tech support said they're coming out Tuesday to shut that thing down finally. And today I'm going to be giving some more stuff about adventure-driven development and the regret on the route to guaranteed success. Now we're going to listen to Wayne Hugh. Go give him a like and subscribe. Talk about the what happens to Harvard graduates who got it all. They got it all in the bag, right? It's a guaranteed route. You can make it into Harvard and graduate. Well, you're set forever, right? You got a guaranteed ticket to the big time.
So this past summer was my 10-year reunion at Harvard Business School. It's absolutely insane to think how fast the time has gone. And I wanted to make a video because this is basically the perfect window into how the lives of Harvard graduates is panning out. You've got hundreds of people who haven't talked much to each other, taking a break from the day-to-day grind and going up a level to reflect and catch other people up on a decade of their lives post-graduation. And people were so forthright about the challenges they faced. You might be thinking, please, what do Harvard grads have to complain about? But what they had to say was honestly really surprising. So here's the 5 unexpected lessons from Harvard graduates 10 years later. The first is imposter syndrome. Everyone, especially the highly successful, suffer from this. This is from people who run billion-dollar startups to senior execs at Fortune 500 companies. The ones that made it still say things like, I walk in every meeting thinking I don't belong, or...
Now, why would they think that they don't belong? Maybe because they really haven't done all the stuff that they really need to do down here. And they're trying to lead a company going and attacking, or they've been told to go attack these things, or being hired by other people in a silverboard accounting thing, doing consulting, but you're a drop-in CEO because you're from Harvard. You must know everything, and you've already been through. You can skip this. This is where all this stuff is, by the way. This is where all this stuff is. It's all down here. All the stuff that you find for the Golden Cup in the cave entrance. Where you see it is down in here, and all this crap down here, going through all the stuff that everybody has to go through, not skipping it and going right to the front head of the line because you read a book or took a class and have a Harvard on your resume. Okay, so that's the reason why the imposter syndrome. Steve Jobs doesn't have imposter syndrome. You want to know why? He came up from the bottom up. He was not expected to be there. He was not even go to Harvard. He didn't care about Harvard. He wanted to go eat apples for a month and drop acid in a hippie farm somewhere and contemplate what is this whole thing here for? What are we here for? Now I'm 56. I just turned 56. So I'm the same age that Steve Jobs died. So I remember. So he's like 10 years older than me, and so I remember the stuff that he was doing. I was into all of his stuff, right? So I saw where it came from, and it wasn't all peaches and cream. It was kind of a little bit of a hack, a little bit. By the time everything kind of got shaken out, and they were still trying to hold on to the older stuff, and yeah, they had a lot of this mentality going on from their success, right? But Steve was like, no, we got to keep going. We got to destroy that and go and make something new. And it was only because he was very dissatisfied, right? He's on the scale of the belt. He said, this is unacceptable. The stuff that we have is unacceptable. There's got to be a better way. And he didn't give up. That's the other thing too, man. You get into these pits and all this down here and do this corporate baloney, grappling with all these types of things, the lead mine, dungeon grind, the tunnels of fake agile doom, all this stuff in here. You want to quit, man. You want to go do something else. It's like, okay, this is silly. This is too much stuff. But there's a few people that's like, hey, you can cut out like 80% of that junk and go up here and attack your dream. So let's keep going.
Or every performance review, I think I'm going to get fired. There's almost like a Dunbar effect where some of the smartest and most accomplished people feel this the most. The second is great expectations unfulfilled. This is one of the hardest realities to confront. You'd assume that accomplished, well-off people would live a life of luxury, but mental health struggles are rampant. And it's not about like living paycheck to paycheck, but there is tons of anxiety, depression, and feelings of inadequacy.
Right. Why? Because they haven't gone through all the stuff that they need to go through for the thing they're getting thrown into. They were told they were going to have an easy ride. Once you get to Harvard, you just do those 4 years or 6 years, whatever, of tough, hard things, and then it's easy after. It's like, no, dude. That's a filter. All this stuff's a filter for the people that have some nuts and some gumption, and you can do it without Harvard. It actually is possible if you're willing to grind up through here and you're having a good time coming through it, right? You like Jobs love doing it. He loved talking to Woz. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? And Woz going, I don't know. You're crazy. And you're nuts. What are you talking about? Well, you're nuts. We just want to deal with Blue Box. It's like, no, we're gonna do something else. We're gonna change the universe. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, can you do this? And Woz is like, ching, 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 ching. Yes, I can see it. But where's this coming from? Because Woz is too deep in the technical detail sauce. He can't see there's other level of thing where all this stuff is coming from, right? He doesn't have access to that, or he doesn't have readily access as much as Jobs does, because Jobs is down here and dicking in the problems. Like, this stuff is terrible.
Many Harvard grads didn't actually want to come to reunions because they were worried their lives didn't turn.
Right, they didn't, because they were told that all they needed was that thing. All I had to do is leak code. Oh, I just have to grind at leak code, and then I can just do the Harvard kind of leak code, wherever that is, the smoothing and the wiggle waggles and all that stuff and all that positioning stuff, and I can just get into a Fortune 500, right, and do somebody's lead mine or do somebody's lava lake of direct competition, somebody else's baby, somebody else's dream that they don't want to deal with the dicking with it anymore because it's just too much. They want somebody else to come in and do it. They got money to hire you, and you're from Harvard, and you must know.
Out as they hoped, or others expected of them, and frankly, they were embarrassed. And I will point out, for as much as this sounds like,
well, they're embarrassed because they were lied to and they thought it was their fault. See, that's Harvard going, no, it's your problem. Well, it kind of is, but Harvard kind of lets it like, no, if you get the H, you're good to go. It's like, no, you're not. So the Harvard has to say, it's not our problem. Look at all of our graduates who are doing fine, except for the people that don't show up and talk, don't do the surveys, and don't fucking. They're like, no, we're good. Right? Those guys don't. It's what's that? What is it when confirmation bias? There's a lot of confirmation bias going on here. A lot of correlation, causation, mixing up the correlations and causes, and like making causes correlates. There's
champagne problems. Embarrassment is the single strongest human emotion.
For sure, for that class, for sure. How about starvation's another one? That's good. That motivates a lot of other people. Embarrassment's like, it is kind of a bad one. But starvation and being homeless is worse.
And if I step back here, I think a big part of this is the expectation that going to a place like Harvard Business School instills in you.
Right. They said, because look, I see, I haven't really previewed this closely. Look, what I just said, Harvard's been mistaken. It keeps telling its students they're special. You're special. You're special. Give us $200,000. You're special. Now you get into their network, but man, some people get caught. I'm Bethel. Thought I do leak code and I'm special. No, that's not what makes you special. Holy crap! It's all this other stuff of taking risks and being in the slog, experiencing it down on the bottom level, not so bottom. I'm gonna delegate this task of designing the website to somebody else. Like, no, your website is your business. The name of your business, the thing you do is you. That's you. You're doing it. This is the thing. You're not. Oh, I'm above it. I'm just gonna be a consultant and tell everybody else what to do. Well, you don't even know how to do it yourself. You have to get down and clean the gutter. You have to be kind of into it. It's like, what can we do here to improve this job? This job sucks. What can you do? Boom, there's a new business. Wow, where do you think these things come from?
Every single class is taught through the case method, where you literally role play yourself as a CEO of a massive company.
Oh my God. How about starting sweeping the floors? How about that? How you start sweeping the floors, and we'll maybe let you oil the machines if you pay attention close enough. Maybe you can go get lunch for us. Maybe you can go. Can you order lunch properly? Do you get that straight? Can you work all the details out that has to deal with? Oh, you might find some ideas along the way. You never know. You never know.
Company or a famous.
I'm the CEO. No, I get lunch delivered, and I don't care. I have no idea how that process works, and I don't care because I'm the CEO and I went to Harvard.
Celebrity starting a business like Lady Gaga or even Mr. Beast, and of course.
God, what a fake phony. This is a year ago, so this is like past all the stuff. This guy's such a fake phony. It was obviously it's complete phony. So, but maybe he did come up. I don't know. I don't know all the full story. I just get a feeling that this thing's just AstroTruth, which is a business type. I respect the grind. I mean, I get it, but like thinking you can just be Mr. Beast. You don't understand how this stuff works. Like you might have to go experience a little bit more life outside of Harvard Yard.
And of course, not every Harvard graduate can fill those giant shoes and become iconic entrepreneurs, titans of industry, or even presidents.
These people are not all equal. These people are not all equal. I mean, if anybody, I would say Ray Dalio, he's on top of some stuff. He's got it. He's done enough dirt digging to know what's going on.
Graduate can fill those.
I don't think she really built much. Sorry if it makes you feel bad. Now Bloomberg, he built some stuff, and he's got some. The fact that his terminals have all the data, and he's just I'm just passing it along. Oh, I'm sure he's just passing it along. He's not changing it or modifying it. He's got his own people looking into things. This is the data. In a vacuum, it's totally, that's the data. But not, this guy, genius. Okay, I've worked for one of his companies. This guy he's a player. He's definitely a player. He's more of a gangster, I would say. He's kind of a gangster. He doesn't look like it, but this guy, he's connected as
titans of industry.
George, his dad was a good president and head of the CIA. He doesn't really deserve to be on this list.
Or even presidents. So the harsh reality is a Harvard degree is no guarantee for anywhere near that level of success.
Exactly. But Harvard, we need a lot of students coming through the door because we can charge every single one of them a hell of a lot of money. And we can actually get their parents to pay for a shit ton just to get their kids in here because we've made it seem like this is the only way through and they have no idea how to get their kids through. They're busy working around their company. They just want Harvard to do it for them. Really? Is that how we're doing it?
The third is the price for success. And on that note, the other big stressor that complicates things is family. There were so many people who had gotten married and divorced, sometimes multiple times.
They don't teach you how to do that stuff. This culture's crazy for that stuff anyway. When there's no fault divorce and there's one side's encouraged to break it, and if you got millions of dollars and this person doesn't have it or has no way to getting it, oh, you better believe we're going to divorce your ass and take some money. What do you think this is? Oh, it's still 1855 and marriage forever, and we're just going to buck up, metal scup, and all that stuff. Yeah. You don't think a girl goes, oh, Harvard, oh, you're a big exec, oh, yeah, you're successful, oh, you really? Okay, let's do about 5 years, 10 years of this, and cash out.
And generally just a ton of very ambitious people who had a hard time figuring out how do you balance single-minded devotion to work with raising children and being a good spouse.
Boy, you kind of have to pick something. You kind of have to pick something. For a while, you're going to have to pick something. Now, doing a silver horde dev agency consultancy, it's great for raising kids and a family and keeping your home life stable. But if you really want to go into this thing, you're going to have somebody on board with that stuff because your whole life from the casualness is over and it's now this other thing, and most people just don't want to have anything to do with that. They don't want to grind with you up this hill because the thing is, there's no guarantee, right? There's no guarantee. It's super risky. That's the thing, and that's the thing about the adventure-driven development. It's this part right here, the risk, the uncertainty we must fully accept. And even if these guys got into Harvard, how hard that is, this is even harder. Just getting courage to fail, you're not gonna fucking make it. And the things, people like me that didn't go, they have no expectations. So whatever I achieve, I'm like, fuck yeah, +1. Not, I should have got +7 the first time out the gate. Oh, why did I get +7? It's like, no, you get +1. You get +0.5 because you have to get through all the mind control that Harvard gave you that tells you you're a special boy. Oh, you're very special. Yeah, just because you have Harvard, now you get to open up other doors. But then what happens then? You get trapped in a dungeon of fake agile doom and a death march in a company with the shrinking market that you don't know how to expand because you don't know how it works because you don't know the customers, you don't know how all you can do is cut some staff. I can cut staff. Hey, I have an idea. How about we ship the company to China? That'll cut our staff costs tremendously. Let's just do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's ship everybody over there. All the people that put all the ideas in that came from the floor, how to improve the process. Let's just put it over there. This should be fine.
There's also a ton of career angst and regret. Almost everyone secretly wonders if they made the right decisions in choosing which industry to be in, which company to work for.
They didn't. That's right. Because they didn't self-direct, right? They were not finding the opening here. They were just shoved into one of these silver hordes. They were shoved in. It's like, oh yeah, you're just this regular bug CEO from Harvard, right? Oh, you'll figure it out. Here, go in here and shut up. Here's your silver spoon. You're fed for life. You got a nice parachute coming out at the end of this thing, but it's not your dream. It's not your not. You don't even know where it came from. You couldn't reproduce it. You're actually a degenerate. You're a degenerate CEO because you don't know how to create the thing that you're inside of. No wonder you don't think you're in the right industry. No wonder you think you're the right company because you didn't bring any of it. You didn't go through the climb. You skipped in like, I'm going to skip the line because I went to Harvard. I'm going to skip the line. I'm going to go right into a silver horde. I'm like, oh, but you missed this one. This is the one that Jobs and everybody else thought you would find a hero. This is the one they went after. And did you think it was easy? Now, there was 1,000 other guys that went after the same thing. They all got failed. They all got slammed. They got oiled. Boiling oil sprayed on them like, I'm going up and attacking directly. They're like, we're ready for you.
And which career to pursue. Business school is the last time those students are going to have this predefined path laid out in front of them. And many people struggled with the endless choices after leaving campus into the wilderness of the real world.
Yeah, because they've been told to play by the rules the whole time, all the way up. You better believe that's a pipeline to these companies right here. Harvard is a pipeline to these bug ban companies. Oh, all financial stuff. These guys are all out of a job in about 3 years anyway. All the financials? Are you crazy? That stuff's dead, man. The financialization, you got to actually provide real value for the 2020s and the 2030s. You're going to have to actually provide real value to somebody, and you have to deal with this freaking dragon. You just can't play with bugs the same bug every day. No.
In that sort of lack of structure, a lot of people ended up following each other into these more common pathways like consulting or banking, and years later wondered what could have been.
Right. What could have been? And as I've gotten older and as I've talked to people who have gotten older, this is the worst. Realizing that, oh shit, I got kind of finagled. I got kind of hooked into something that I thought would make me feel different, and I was told would make me feel different about my life, and now I don't feel that way, and I starting to put some pieces together, right? You start to put the pieces together. Oh shit! And then you say, "Oh, I'm running out of time. I've got gray hair already. My bones aren't. My body isn't working the way it used to because I've been neglecting it by having somebody else take my lunch in for me instead of me going out and getting it and being out and engaged in the world and trying to see how things are. Just skipping the whole things. And it's like, oh, those things were actually pretty important. Those are the things where you find out what you came here for. And it wasn't just to be plugged into a network and an automatic CEO, and you're supposed to like, oh yeah, look at this, I'm great.
This is one of the biggest takeaways for me. To be fulfilled, at some point, you eventually have to figure out how to define success on your terms.
Right.
Not somebody else's.
Right. So that's the thing. To keep people that come from Harvard from competing directly, they got to keep the golden handcuffs, man. They got to make this a pretty sweet deal. And instead of going for billions, right, they got to go for millions, right? That's the little trap, and that's where people go, oh fuck, I got took. Some people have figured out, oh shit, I could have been doing something else that I really want to do, not this stuff. I could have been doing somebody else's. I could have been doing my own game the whole time, and nobody told me. Yeah, nobody told me. I'm telling you, you're probably not gonna listen to me.
And the most common way people have found their own personal success, even for career-minded people, has been through family and not business. Around this point in one's career...
Well, everyone's different, right? For some people, it's going into the technical details. Sometimes it's how do we serve a customer? What can I get away? What can I do with this life? There's all kinds of ways. Family's just one of them. A lot of people get a lot of satisfaction out of that. Some people don't. Some people don't have that capability. Some people don't have that desire. They have other things they want to go try. And if you're stuck in a company and you're doing it all for other people, you're losing. You're missing the magic that has been spelled on you. You have one level of magic, but there's another level of magic above. And as you age, you kind of can see these things. And I'm grateful that I was able to see some of this stuff early, or just being forced to not have access to it until later on. Like, oh, that's what those guys are doing. Oh, okay, I get it now.
Parents start to age and have health problems. And while that's a source of stress, it also forces you to start to cherish the moments that you do have. And family becomes more important than ever. And in that context, raising a family can be a huge source of joy, usually much more so than one's career. And personally, for my family, COVID was a huge turning point. My wife and I were both working with a 2-year-old child at home, and we had to both take a half day off every day.
Woo! You should just have one job, dude. When you have little kids like that at home, you should only have one person. She should stay home and take a break from her career. She'll be fine. When she goes back, it'll be all set up for her to do that. So don't worry. But like, no, don't do that to the kid, man.
It really forced us to find that difficult balance overnight and work much more efficiently, figure out how to better prioritize, and
Downsize, man. Downsize, and if you have kids that are young like that, they don't stay young for long. You can't just be, oh, I'm just gonna career thing. It's like, no, your kids are way more important.
consciously let some fires burn. And I think it's
Yeah. Let her career go for a little while while she does what she gonna wants to do. It's like be around the kid all the time. Come on.
really paid off since then. Looking back 10 years, some of this may sound obvious to you, but I can assure you it's a huge transition.
Right, but for you doing this channel and whatever business startup stuff, that's what you gotta do. You should balls to the wall, that stuff.
When you look back at the starry-eyed graduates in my class 10 years ago, if you ask them how they were doing at the 1-year reunion, they talk about titles, money, and accomplishments, being in the Forbes 30 under 30. But now at the 10-year reunion,
Who gives a shit? This is all payola anyway. This is but titles? Really? You think Steve Jobs gave a fuck about titles? No. Hey, what are your ideas like? If you cared about that, he will give you shit. And if you zing him, he'll definitely go, what the hell are you talking about? And he'll react, right? So what, that's titles? Oh, titles. Money, of course. But in a ZERP environment, money was free. Talent and people have guts and insight, that's pretty hard to find. That was difficult to find. Forbes under 30. That was a good way to see who's going to be doing financial crimes. Let's do the top 10. You hit 20% of the people on it eventually considered them to be doing some kind of fraud. No, you don't want to be on that list.
those who seem most at peace have just focused on work that's meaningful to them.
Right. They discovered, that they're the small number of people here, right? These people here, the people who find this unacceptable, and they want to do something different, and they discovered like, all this bullshit we have to take care of is just kind of like, hey, here's an exercise of how it's going to be when you're out in the whole thing, but you're going to have to make up your own rules and go your own path. And if you haven't figured that out yet, we'll slot you in. Oh, we will slot you in. Don't worry. If you can go through this gauntlet, you can be a problem solver, and we will slot you in. But if you can figure out the slot on your own, we're not going to give you any accolades for that. We're not gonna shout to the heavens that you've made the most amazing badass woodworking shop that does all these custom woodworking pieces, and you're grossing $1 million a year. You're not gonna get on Forbes 30 under 30, whatever. You're not gonna get on that list. But you'll be like, I did this myself with my own hands. It was my idea. I tried it, and I dealt with the failures, and whatever came along was mine. It was mine. I did it myself. And even if you do that stuff for a while, you're like, I kind of want to go work for a silver horde for a while. After you've had that experience, you're going to be like so head and teeth over the whole organization, but you're also going to be very frustrated because they're going to be filled with these people, right? These preserver types that are just they're not going to think your ideas are any good, or they're stupid or whatever. They're not like the founder.
Not you. And what brings them joy?
What brings them joy? This is where the happiness is, like right around here. It's not in the silver horde, although the money's pretty good. Going on vacation 6 times a year, whatever, is not bad. It's not a bad way of doing it. 33 times a year, having two houses and just a couple Ferraris, which is pretty nice. It's not pretty nice, but it's not this. It's not this happiness stuff where you're going after something that you thought may have been impossible. I'm gonna do a thing about the fool's car, the fool's journey, like the fool card in tarot. It's like you have some skills, and you're just like, I'm gonna see where I can go with this. And I'm gonna take a risk here. And having family at the same time is super hard. But if your wife is like, I believe in you, and if the worst that happens is I have to go back to a silver horde, if I attack this mountain cave entrance, well, that's the worst that happens, right? So this is what Wayne, he's on that ship. He's on the adventure driven life course. I'm happy that he's made this video because that lets me explain what the differences are.
Disassociating yourself from the Harvard career trajectory comparisons is incredibly clarifying and freeing. When you ask these people how they're doing, they'll instead talk to you about the joy they see on their kids' faces when they went to the playground for the first time.
Or their customers, they're to the movie they're working on, the thing, whatever it is, their table that they're developing, their whole new system, some new thing. Sometimes it's their family. Sometimes it is. It doesn't have to be, but it has to be something that you make and you spark your joy. Sparks joy for you, right? Just focusing on your family and then doing the silver horde. I mean, for some people, that's freaking awesome. But you're not going to be like world famous, right? You're not gonna be like, you're gonna look back on your family, right? That's gonna be your thing. It's like you have to let go of the other things that could have been because you made a choice consciously to focus here as opposed to someplace else, right? And that's what this is about. This is what adventure driven development is about. If you want adventure driven development on your family, hell, that's legit. That is, but you got to do it for real. You can't, don't try and spread it apart. Work life balance stuff. No, it's like your life is, your family life is going to be your focus, and the work is, you're going to be mailing it in, man. Unless something was like, but you're not going to be. I mean, you're going to have other issues, right? You're going to, because the things that the Silver Horde are doing sometimes don't work out, and you have to go do something else, and that may disrupt your family. So there's always those are the balances, right? And then, you could be going up the mountain here, you could get bankrupt yourself because you made the wrong error. You bought 10,000 units in your warehouse, and you only sold 2. No, don't get 10,000 in a warehouse. What are you doing? No, wait till you sell 100, and no place to put it in your front room. No place to put. You have a spare bedroom, and it's packed full. Okay, now you have to go, and you're shipping stuff in and out, and that's just shipping room, and it just becomes overwhelming. That's when you go get a warehouse.
Or the nonprofit they're serving on. So for any of you stressing about that promotion, job change, or whatever, in 10 years, it won't matter nearly as much as you think now.
For sure, man. For sure. All that junk, all that stuff is just water. But it's like, you look, looking back at all the stuff I tried and all the stuff I attempted, and the jobs I just took because I needed the money, and the jobs I took because I was like, okay, this sounds really awesome. The ones that sound really awesome are always the best. Always the best.
Funny enough, Harvard Business School actually gives you a preview of some of these lessons by sharing 10-year post-graduation updates from alumni while you're still at HBS. I remember all the students who read them felt like they were a little bit depressing. A lot of divorced people, middle managers stuck at large corporations feeling...
No. That's this chart here. I made this chart. This is freaking important. Yes, these are the things along the way. Traps and little slide gullies, like snakes and ladders. So these are you're sliding down into a thing. These areas of like where people cycle along them because it's super scary to go up here and attack this thing. Even just to find the entrance is scary. This is unmapped territory up here. A lot of it is like, you don't know what's up here. You don't know, like people toil around here for a long time. A lot of people try to skip this stuff. Some parts of their life they're trying to skip over this stuff. But that's where all the stuff is, man. And they go, why can't I get it going? That's because, you don't know enough yet. But every run up the hill at this thing is totally worth it.
Feeling like things didn't pan out the way they thought. I now know a part of that is our own different definitions of success rooted in career. It may look depressing to me or other...
Career. Ugh, I hate that word. A career is something you look back on. You can't get one. You look back on it. The things you tried, the things you failed, the crazy stuff you were into, and the stuff was like, what was I thinking? That was retarded. That was dumb. That was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. But how did you know? Because you went down that road, like, down a pit. Lead mine is tech solution looking for a problem. More servers than customers. That kind of stuff is like, jeez, that was painful. Well, how do you think that's how we all learn this stuff? That's how all this stuff came to be.
Their students at the time, but eventually the only definition of success that matters is your own. So at the end of the day, it feels like Harvard structurally set up these fresh grads for great expectations that invariably are not met for most people. But for many, these expectations evolve into something else perhaps equally or more fulfilling. Now, this isn't to completely slam HBS and say it's just not worth going there. In fact, in a follow-up video, I'm going to cover whether it actually makes sense or not for you, and also what I learned, so you don't have to necessarily drop 200 grand. If you're interested in that...
You probably don't these days, but getting around people that have the attitude, I think Harvard was a place at one time that had all that stuff, but it moves around, and it's really where you're self-directed, right? Now, internet makes it easy, and it seems like we can do it all remotely, but you do have to kind of get in person to some of this stuff. That's just how it is, and I don't think it could actually change. I don't think that part could change to get really deep into a new thing. All right, give me a like and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.